Hi guys, and welcome to my gaming review of the Dell XPS 15 late 2015 with the Skylake. You can see the test configuration on the left side, and on the right side you can see the games that I will show off in this gaming review. Each clip is about 1 minute long, and I will also test it on the PSU as well as on the battery. So let's jump right into the first game. This would be Project Cars. This is running on medium settings as pretty much all the games did, and as you can see here we are at about 50 frames, which is quite nice. So absolutely playable on the PSU, and the great thing here is once you download the Nvidia experience driver, turn off battery booster, you will have pretty much the same performance also on battery, which is nice to see, and something I didn't have on the Dell Inspiron 7559 that I tried. You will see this right now. In a few seconds I will jump to the battery and you will see a quick breakdown, as you can see here, in the performance. But this is just temporary until it switches back, and you can see we are back on battery, and performance will in a few seconds be pretty much the same as it is already on the PSU. So performance absolutely fine, totally playable with medium settings, and you can tweak it a little bit more if you want to, but this already is fine. So jumping into the next game, which would be F1 2015. Also on medium settings, as you can see, about 50-55 frames in average. It sometimes drops a little bit lower, but actually absolutely playable at all times. No problems here at all. This is already again on the PSU. And in a few seconds, once again, I will drop down to battery. But as I said, the great thing is it doesn't really seem to throttle at all once battery booster is turned off. So you can absolutely play on battery. As you can see here now on battery, give it a few seconds and it will go back to full performance mode. Absolutely fine. Not really any difference compared to the PSU performance. Absolutely fine. Playable at all times. With medium settings, of course, if you go lower, you will have constant 60 frames. But I noticed that at medium settings, it is totally playable at all times. Sometimes drops lower than 60, but usually you are close to 60. No problems here at all. So let's jump into Battlefield, and as you can see here, this is on medium settings, and with medium settings you can get constant 60 frames without any issues. I try to go higher, but then you will drop to maybe 40, 45, 50 frames. So if you want to have 60 constant frames, then just stick with medium. Shit still looks great, still performs well, so absolutely no problems here at all. Of course, one thing that I will have to mention also, once you play on a high-end gaming machine like this, it will get loud. And maybe you can actually hear the fan running here in the background, because I'm recording this video right now while I am editing this on this machine. So performance is absolutely there, as you can see, on battery as on PSU, but therefore it will get quite loud, and it's a little bit of a high-pitched sound. Definitely still okay, especially if you use it on headphones, but keep that in mind. It is not the most subtle and most quiet, since it's so small and compact. Now here we are at Call of Duty. As you can see, this is on low settings actually. We are at 50-55 frames, sometimes at 60. I try to get a little bit higher, like for example medium, but then you are usually at 30-40 frames, a little bit higher sometimes. Not really the perfect condition, so I would say stick it around lower settings. Of course you can tweak it a little bit more, but I think it's not quite suited for medium or higher, because maybe the optimization also. But this with low settings is absolutely playable at all times. I don't see any issues. Once again, great, since it's not throttling on the battery, and this is something that I'm really happy to see, which I didn't see on the Dell Inspiron, because that one seems to just use the Intel graphics card. This one still sticks with the Nvidia card, which is really nice to see, because that's something you don't get on some devices, it seems. At least that's what I got from comments. But this one, absolutely playable at all times. Now, here we are in Witcher. This is medium settings, and as you can see, we are at 30-45 frames usually, and I try to go for a lower setting, but if you go, for example, to low, then you just get about 5 frames more. So depends on what you want, but I think it's worth the sacrifice to go for medium, because you just lose 5 frames. It's still playable, I guess. I don't think a game like this needs that many frames, but if you want to just tweak the settings, there is always a little bit headroom to go a little bit higher, because I just used the presets and didn't really change anything else. So as you can see here, it looks still great, and it should perform just fine. I don't see too much of an issue here. The great thing is, once again, on battery and PSU, the same performance, totally playable at all times. So as you can see, this is quite a capable machine if you use it on the go, or if you use it as a desktop replacement, should perform just fine. I didn't see any throttling after a longer period of time. Of course, the device got hot and it got louder, but the performance stayed pretty much the same. And as you can see here, this would be Fallout 4 with medium settings, works absolutely fine. And I also tried a few more games like Dying Light, worked absolutely fine with medium settings. And for example, Tomb Raider worked with high, not the highest settings, but the one previous, so it was high, and worked with 60 frames per second all the time, no problems at all. I think it was medium where it had 60 constant frames, but one setting preset higher, and you were at about 40-45. So I would stick with medium, because then you had constant 60 frames, which was really nice to see. So in overall, to sum it up, a really capable machine, really powerful, especially since it's so small and compact, but therefore you have the small little sacrifice of a little bit of a louder machine, louder than maybe a gaming PC on its own, because that one is a lot bigger and can absorb the heat. Okay, until next time, bye.